back to episode 2 of the podcast project, brought to you by me, Chris Frank. And today I'll be speaking a little bit about family culture, and then I'd also like to dive into some of the culture at Downingtown West regarding the track team. So let's get right into it. So, growing up for me was pretty straightforward. I feel like I had an ordinary life, I'd say. My parents always made sure I was kept busy. I played a lot of rec soccer growing up. I played that for a long time. I stopped just last year, so I played for around 12 years, I guess, which is pretty shocking to me. That was probably the best environment that I could have grown up in terms of sports and culture. Um, I don't know. That's where I met a lot of my friends. That's how I connected with people. I wasn't allowed to play club soccer or for school soccer growing up. My parents did not want me to get hurt or anything like that, so I was stuck playing rec soccer. Um, I just kind of also like to, before we get on to track and the culture at Downingtown West, I'd like to talk about what it was kind of like when my parents split. So it was an interesting time, I'd say, for me and my brother. It was, I, I kind of, I don't want to say I thank my parents for getting divorced, but I think it was a great time for me to kind of develop on my own, I think. And my brother recognizes that too, where we kind of got um, a chance to be more independent, I think, and which kind of really split me off in the direction of track and cross country. Um, I had I had a lot more freedom than I think I would if my parents were together. So I don't thank them for that, but I think it ended up working pretty well. So without further ado, I'd like to dive into the history and culture of Downingtown West Track. So, I was introduced to track at, what was this? This was last year in the spring in my English class. I had two other kids, Dylan Graham and a certain Joe Moorhead, who introduced me to the sport. Now, I did do cross country in middle school before that, just to throw that out there, but I did not enjoy it. I quit. Oh, I don't know. It was about 2 weeks in, probably. I did my first meet. I was I was fast, which is something I regret completely, was quitting track. But I just couldn't enjoy it. I had a bad experience with the coach there, um, which really just threw me off, and I quit. I came home one day and I was just like crying. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So that was the end of that. And fast forward junior year, spring, I joined the team, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know a lot of the people at the time on the track team. I just knew a few people, and we were kind of just dicking around the entire spring season. But I don't know. I had a fun time. We'll just say that. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened that I can't really go into, but that was a pretty good time for me, and I had fun doing that. And fast forward a bit, we get to the end of the spring season. I ran some okay times for a first year track runner, I guess. So we get to the end of the season, and my friend David Whitford comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, you should run with us and some of the cross country kids over the summer." So I was like, "All right." You know, it took a little convincing, but in the end, he got to me. So I ended up running over the summer with these fantastic group of kids. I struggled with friends a little bit in high school. It was like an on and off thing for me. Especially over COVID, I played nothing but Fortnite the entire year of 2020, and I did no homework at all. So that was, I don't man, socializing with people was tricky for me. But I think track really brought that out of me. And we get over to in the summer. So fast forward a little bit. I was convinced to run in the summer, and that was probably the best experience I've ever had in my entire life. I will never, ever. I don't think I've ever made a better decision in my life. Um, Not only I think did I become more fit over the summer, but I really got an opportunity to talk to meet with these cool group of guys. You know, you're out there suffering in the summer mornings together, 7 a.m. every morning for 2 months. So you're out there suffering. It sucks really bad, but at the end of the day, you get to go home. You feel great after you run, at least. So that's good. And you're laughing with these people while you run. And I was still learning some of the names of these of my teammates now. So that was great, and it really put me it put me in a good position on that team because I got to spend so much time with this small group of guys, and we did so much fun stuff over the summer. A lot of swimming, Marsh Creek adventures, trail runs, long runs, all that fun stuff. So again, you fast forward into cross country, and just before school starts, I experienced my first race with a. Oh man, I was so nervous. That was one of the most nerve wracking things for me was that first cross country race because I knew it was gonna hurt, and I was used to doing half mile races, and now you're throwing me into this 5K, and it's like, oh my god, like this is uh, 8 times the amount of distance, whatever, and I was a nervous wreck, but I was fit enough, made it through that first race. Um, I I don't think I could have done anything better, honestly. It was just pain, but I enjoyed it. At the end it's always great. You're suffering with all these teammates. You have to ride the pain for whatever 18 minutes takes to complete a 5K for me at the time. Um, and the culture in cross country is a lot different to track. I think it's a lot more. It's cross country is a more team oriented sport, whereas track is you're out there solo and you're ripping a lot more speed on the track, and it's kind of it's shoulders out, everyone's bumping on the track, and you're ripping. And cross country is just you kind of have to stay relaxed and find like a state of flow, and you have to work with your team to get as many points or as little points, I guess, as possible. So we again fast forward end of cross country. I broke the 5 minute mile barrier at a time trial post cross country season. So which was a bit surprising to me. I think my time was 4:59, which was a 34-second improvement as opposed to spring season. So I was happy. Obviously, I beat a lot of my teammates who I never thought I'd ever beat ever. Oh, sorry. And I got sick after that mile, which was not fun at all. We had a cross country regionals race after the end of the cross country season, so I couldn't really race that. I got the opportunity to run in it, but I did very poorly. It was more of an experience thing than anything else. You see a couple guys from multiple states that are just out there crushing it, and it was fun to race in, but I was in so much pain. The hills were insane. It was muddy. It was a mess. It was 25 degrees outside. So thank God got through that. And yeah, that sickness that ripped everything out of me, I feel like. And I was able to recover within like a month's time. And we rolled on the indoor track season. Sorry, I'm falling asleep. And that was indoor season, just to sum it all up before we kind of get to what we're rolling into now. That was probably what I needed to put myself on the map in terms of our spring track team. That moved me up to, I think it was number 6 in terms of times for the 800, number 7. So I made a lot of progress with my teammates, I think, and you know it it was tricky in the winter. I feel like because you're racing by yourself, which is like the first experience for me where I'm really fit. I get thrown out in all these races that are up in New York with my teammates, and it's just me by myself doing these races, you know? Like, I don't know any of the guys around me. It's not even people in the chess mount league. I'm just, yeah, it was interesting. The indoor tracks, you can't breathe very well, which kind of sucks. So the tracks are 200 meters, so they're half the size of a normal track, and they're banked, which was also an interesting experience for me. But we fast forward to now, and I've never been in a better spot with my teammates. I think we're all really close right now, especially now that I'm so well regarded in the team now. I'm like a high level varsity runner now at West. Which, if you were to ask me right, like at the end of this year, like 365 days ago, if you told me that I was going to be running varsity track 1 year after joining, less than 1 year after joining, I would have thought you were out of your mind. Like, I just didn't care about track in the spring. Like, it was fun for me, but I just didn't put the effort in. And here I am putting all the effort in senior year, my last year, my last and first year of doing track. And yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience for me that this whole year training. So we fast forward to now, and I'm highly regarded in the team. I get this opportunity on Saturday to we're gonna attempt to break the school record for the 4x800, which takes four people, and it's four of our teammates, and we all have to run an 800 leg. So we'll see if we get the opportunity to break that barrier. And I'd like to thank my teammates. They really gave me everything. They gave me the best environment, and my coach too. They gave me the best environment to kind of learn, develop, and grow. And I'm just thankful for that, because I didn't always have that, I feel like, when I was growing up. So they really gave me a chance, and now I get this opportunity to break 2 minutes in the 800, and I have to take it. That would put me in a really good spot. I would get to race at districts and nationals, which would be fantastic for me. So that's all I have to share really about my experiences on track, and a little bit growing up, and the culture a little bit at Downingtown West. So thank you.